Hello again and welcome to the Ribble Valley Group Kitchen. We hope you liked the epic burger last week. This week I'm excited because we've got Dan from Bar Events UK who's going to be showing us his favourite dish. So Dan, what are you going to be cooking for us?
So I love cooking at home, really quick, really simple, really cheap if I can. I'm busy, so it needs to be, as quick as possible. I'm doing pork steaks, Flambéd and JD honey.
Ooh, yeah.
I always cook with drink. I tend to cook with drink. Obviously that's my background. That's bars, that's everything else. So add in JD or Bacardi, wine, brandy, whatever I can put in food, I try and put in food.
Fantastic, but you drink more than you put in, don't you?
Yes.
That's cracking. I'm looking forward to it. So what are we going to need, Dan?
Okay, so we need Jack Daniel's honey, pork steaks, tinned apple, shallots, rosemary, picked from the garden is fine, garlic, oil, seasoning, and potatoes, sauteed new potatoes, and just some steamed or boiled broccoli.
Ooh, lovely.
Okay, so we're going to need to start with a shallot and garlic. Anthony, if you don't mind just prepping that for us, it just needs slicing.
No problem.
So this garlic, I'm just going to use a couple of cloves. Not a lot to it, I'm just going to smash it, take this skin off, and that's it really.
This is my favourite part, you always start crying when you do stuff like this. So Dan, do you want to tell us a little bit about Bar Events UK for people that might not know you?
Yeah, okay, so we do giant teepees, mobile bars and event stuff. We work with Ribble Valley Group all the time. We recommend them to all our clients and we work a lot together. So we're a bit more than just a bar company or a teepee company. We're more of an event management company. When you book us, we can get involved with as much or as little as your big day. So I'm talking generators, toilets, booking the caterers, photographers, whatever it may be. And then obviously setting up the teepees, running the bars. If our bars are there on the big day, then we'll essentially run the wedding for you. So yeah, like I say, a bit more of a one-stop wedding shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop, aren't you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you look after all the electrics and things like that, don't you, for the event as well?
Yeah, so my past life I was a sound lighting engineer, so well clued up on generators and distribution and lighting and everything else.
It's all things people don't think about their big day.
Exactly, and they don't want to have to think about it. They want to rock up to the teepees and have a nice wedding day. They don't want to be thinking, has the toilet's got enough power, has the caterer got enough power, and where do the band plug in? These things, if we're there.
Because we're quite high maintenance, aren't we, caterers?
Yeah, you can be. At least you're a nice one.
Yeah. So now we've prepped the shallots and the garlic down, what do we do now?
Okay, so we're straight into the pan with everything else really. I'm just going to put some oil in there. It's olive oil, you can use sunflower oil or whatever, but I tend to just have olive oil at home, so that's what we're using. We've got some pork steaks just here. I'm just going to quickly season them, try and get some on the edges here, on the fat and the rind around the edge, salt and pepper.
It's one thing I always say whenever we're cooking anything, salt and pepper on everything.
Yeah, absolutely, it really just helps the flavour, adds the flavour. Right, so I'm going to put these in the pan. I'm going to put it sort of fat side down, just rest on the edge of the pan there. So when you've got fat on pork around the edge, it's really nice to just, sort of render it down, get it nice and hot around the edge. It's going to cook more than anything else, but it adds a bit more flavour to the rest of the pan. Yeah,
well, if you're going to add anything else into the pan, you're spreading that lovely pork fat through everything, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. They're a nice looking pork steak then.
Yeah, so you can get these in any supermarket or butcher's. It's always nice to use the high street, so pop into your butcher's, and pork is quite a cheap piece of meat really, when you're comparing it to beef or lamb. It's good for you. You have to cook it all the way through obviously, unlike the comparison of lamb or beef. But these might have cost a couple of quid if that. So as I mentioned earlier, I like cooking quick and easy at home, and cheap.
Keep the cost down.
Yeah, absolutely. The purse strings are quite tight nowadays, whether you own your own business or you're getting paid to do a salary job. So you got to watch what you're spending in the supermarket.
Definitely, and it's a piece of meat that is cheap. You can cook it yourself. Yeah. You're making a really nice dish at home. Yeah. It's lovely.
Absolutely. So this has had some time on the edge. I'm just going to flip it over. And I didn't season the underside when it was on the tray before, so I'm just going to season it there. Just a bit of salt and pepper, help bring out any flavours.
Because it is quite salty anyway, isn't it, pork?
Yeah.
But that added salt just even more flavour again. Yeah. Just brings everything out of the pork, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. That skin looks really good as well on there.
Yeah, it's added some nice colour to it. And it will carry on cooking, quicker than the rest of it, 'cause it's already started earlier. while that's cooking down now, I'm just going to add the shallots and the garlic in. So the reason I smashed the garlic earlier is, I mean, A, it saves time. Saves you chopping it or putting it through a crusher or whatever. But B, garlic's one of those things that if you take it a bit too far, if you burn it a little bit, if you burn a bit of meat, you know, it adds a bit of flavour. You burn garlic, it's just going to be horrible. So I like to try and keep big pieces of it. It's less likely to burn. You know, I'm not a professional chef. I'm just cooking quickly at home usually. So that's,
I have taught you a thing or two, but you know, we won't go into that.
That's cooking nicely.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah.
Good, I hope so.
First time he's cooked for me.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Maybe a barbecue once.
Well, yeah.
So these are probably sort of 5 or 6 minutes each side. They're quite thick steaks, so one of your good tips is if you're not too sure, then whack it in the oven at the end.
Yeah. So what Dan's doing now is just cooking down the shallots, cooking the garlic down, just making all that flavour go into the pork, and he's just flipped the steaks over now as well, just to start cooking them on the other side.
So now I'm going to add in the apples. So this is tinned apple, as we mentioned earlier. I mean, you can use fresh, but the nice thing about it with any tinned fruit is that it has liquid in it, and we want liquid in the pan at the end. That's going to be some sort of jus. So you can use really any tinned product, any tinned fruit, should I say. So we use an apple. I love pork and apple. It goes perfectly, if you ask me. But you know, pork and pineapple works, and pork and peaches, and you know, you choose your tinned fruit. Put some tinned fruit in there. Make sure there's a bit of liquid in there, and away you go.
It adds a bit of sweetness, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're just cooking all this through now. All the flavours are coming together. With cooking any dish, it's a bit like making drinks. You know, I work behind a bar, as you know, or I manage bars and that sort of thing, and I train bartenders. What I like is to add spirits to mixers that pair each other well, and add spirits to spirits that pair each other well, or spirits to liqueurs, and so on. So whenever I cook at home, I'm just doing the same thing, but with food. Yeah. So when I think of a dish, you know, I pick up inspiration off the telly, off books, or you know, the internet, whatever. But when I cook a dish, I think, what would work well? What do I like? What does my wife like? And then we just, you know, put it in the pan, see if it works. Sometimes it doesn't, it ends up in the bin. But, you know, sometimes it does, and it turns into dishes like this.
So, with this dish, Dan, I know you're going to add some of the Jack Daniel's honey you've got there.
Yep.
But what would you drink with it? What's your go-to drink with a nice bit of pork, some nice potato?
Yeah, so because there's JD honey in there, you could pair it with a bourbon or bourbon. A nice fact about JD honey and bourbon or bourbon is that you've got the biscuits, bourbon biscuits, you know, that there's a bit of an argument there. It's actually all from the same family. It's a French family, that's where both names come from. It's exactly the same name, but it's pronounced differently for different products. So when people say, oh, you pronounced bourbon wrong or bourbon wrong, it's actually all from the same family.
Oh,
so it really doesn't matter.
It's full of facts, isn't it?
So pairing with drink, you know, pork goes well with red or white wine. This would go well with a nice cider. You know, you got the apples in there. Yeah. Or some JD honey, nice glass of that on the rocks. That's how I'd have it.
I put him on the spot there. It's all cooking down nicely, is that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just going to reduce the heat a bit. These are quite thick steaks. Cooking nicely.
Ooh, some nice colour on there. If I take over, Dan, do you want to tell us a little bit about the JD honey?
Yeah, okay. So as you know, I work with bars, I consult bars and manage staff, train staff. So I'm about drinks. We use Bacardi Foreman brands. So as part of that, it's Jack Daniel's, it's Jack Daniel's Honey, Bacardi Gold, and so many more. So I picked this in particular because of the honey and the apples. The sweetness goes really well together. As we mentioned before, the apples and the pork goes well. So let's keep on complementing it with things that go well together. Yeah. So it's made in Tennessee. It says it right in the bottle. Did you know Tennessee's a dry state? So they can't sell it in any bars or restaurants there.
And it's from there?
And it's from there. So
I did not know that.
There, they bottle it there.
Oh, wow.
And then they can't then take it down the shop and sell it for however much and say, here's a JD and Coke or whatever. Illegal.
I never knew that.
There you go.
Full of facts.
Absolutely. I'm going to try my best. So we're going to be putting some of this in now. It's about 50 mils, so 50 mils on the bar is a large shot. And as we said at the start of the dish, it's Flambéd. That basically means we're going to put it in, it's going to burst into flames, it's going to add something to the dish. You don't have to flambe it. If you're a bit worried about fire in the pan and fire in the house, don't have to do it. All we really need to do is burn off the alcohol in it. So, that's quite a large measure. I'd say a bit more than 50 mil.
That's what I call a Dan Lakin measure.
Anthony's going to set it on fire for us. It can be a bit worrying when you do this at home, especially if you've got an extractor down here.
Right above, yeah.
Don't panic, let it burn. The alcohol will burn off. Don't try and put it out. Don't add anything to it. It will put itself out. The alcohol will be gone soon. You can see it's dying down already.
It is quite warm, but above it, it's not that bad, is it?
I'm just adding some sprigs of rosemary now. Rosemary is quite a woody, floral herb.
Very fragrant, isn't it?
Absolutely. But the woodiness to it is something else that complements JD. And rosemary and pork go really well. So all these elements of this dish, they complement each other, and that's what we try and do behind bars. We try and add things to drinks that work well together. Try and garnish drinks with things that smell like the spirit. And that's exactly what we're doing to this dish. So,
and it looks great in the pan as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And especially later as we plate up, we'll be garnishing it, and it just adds a different colour to the dish. So as that sort of renders down a bit and the alcohol burns off, then we're nearly ready.
Nearly ready to go. I'm going to start doing the sides that we've done. So we're going to do some sauté potatoes and some purple sprouting broccoli, or tender stem broccoli, whichever you can get your hands on, really. So with another nice hot pan right next to Dan, we'll get those pre-boiled new potatoes cut in half in there. Give it a good shake. Take the other one off the heat so that we're not going to burn anything. It smells really good, does that? It's come right down, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Put the purple sprouting in there as well so you can hear it sizzling away. This is another one of our favourite potato dishes, some nice sauté potatoes. Good with anything, really. Got some colour on there.
So if I cook this at home, I basically use whatever's in the fridge. Maybe broccoli, carrots, potatoes. Sometimes when I do mash, I'll do loads of mash and batch it into the freezer.
Yeah, good idea.
So you could serve this with new potatoes or sautéed potatoes, like you're saying, or mash or dauphinoise.
Oh yeah, dauphinoise. Ooh, I love dauphinoise. Or a fondant. A fondant potato. I know the guys that are here have tried it many times. So those potatoes are nearly ready to go now. A little bit of colour on those, and it's probably time to start putting things together.
Perfect. So let's get it over to the plates. So even when I'm cooking at home, I like to, present things quite well. The presentation is everything. You can serve something that tastes amazing but looks terrible, and the first impression when it gets to the table is, I might not like that, but realistically you probably will. So if we can make it look nice when it gets there, you stand half the chance of people liking it. So we're plating up 2 portions just because we've got 2 pork steaks.
There's quite a few people to feed in here today, isn't there?
There we go, they can have that little one, we'll have the bigger one. And then we've got some nice bits of apple just to add to the mix. There we go.
Oh, lovely.
Pressure's on and being watched by a chef. And then I'm just going to place it on top.
Oh yeah. Colours are great, aren't they?
Yeah, the colours are great. Tell you what, a little cheat. Sometimes when I cook this, the moisture and the wetness leaves the JD completely, and you're left with a dry pan. In fact, you might have taught me this trick, is deglazing. It's called deglazing. It's much more simple than it sounds. It's literally adding a bit of water to the pan, and it just gets all the flavours back into a sauce, so you've got some sort of jus to use over the potatoes, over the meat. So I'm literally just popping that on there, nice little drizzle. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Not a gravy as such, just a nice bit of jus. And then top it off with that bit of colour that we added to the pan later on. It's important to make it look good.
You serve everything like this in your house?
I try to, I do. Unless it's like chicken kebab and chips or something. And there we have it. So that's my JD pork steaks. flambéd, and ready to go.
Fantastic, I can't wait to taste it. I really like the look of this dish, Dan. It looks really good. I think we should put it on at our Ilkley Christmas teepee event that we do.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we have JD Honey on the bar anyway, JD brands. It's in a cocktail menu, so we really hope to push it this year, so putting it on a dish will be even better.
Fantastic, the smell is just incredible. I think it's my favourite part. It's time to taste it. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Oh yeah, get a bit of everything. The pork's cooked absolutely beautifully, done. Well done.
There we go.
It's lovely. What does he think?
I'll leave it to the pro.
Oh yeah. Nicely seasoned. The sweetness of the apple, the JD honey.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Thanks.
Nice one. I'm going to steal that. What sides would you put with this dish, and make sure you don't lose your eyebrows like our cameraman did. Let us know in the comment section below, and
Tag someone who you know would burn their house down making this.
thanks Dan for coming in today. Next week we'll have another guest, Rob from Bells and Breakfast. We'll both be making a slow cooked brisket with a blue cheese dauphinoise potato, so keep your eyes peeled for that. As ever, if you like what you see, then share this video and show others the JD pork honey steak. See you soon, bye!